Okay, here's my sound preferences. I like a variety of different tunings, but really what gets my juices flowing, starting from the lower octaves, is in the bass. I like my bass punchy, tight, fast with a kick. I like a little bit of energy down there, maybe a little bit of warmth, but not too much into the getting into bass bleeding. It's got to have enough weight to make male vocals, make piano, cello, percussions, have the right tonality. When it comes to my mids, I do like my mids and mid clarity, but I don't like too forward a mid, so that's the upper mids I'm talking about. So keep the pinna gain down a little bit and not make it too forward a presentation. And when it comes to the highs, I do like my sparkly highs. At my age, I'm probably losing a little bit of the high frequencies. But not too much where it's sibilant and in your face. So that's what I like.
So sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick of love. I'm tired to always see the better in people or the things that matter. But I never could have thought the dagger in my bag, it was you. In the echoes of your lies, dear. Can you hear me harmonize every word that comes out? It almost got the best of me. But now I've gotten so sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick, so sick, so sick of love. I'd rather be naive and bitter, decorate my lows in glitter. Karma hits you like the mirror. You're too late now. In the echoes of your lies, dear. Can you hear me harmonize every word that comes out? It almost got the best of me. But now I've gotten so sick, so sick, I'm so sick of love. So sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick of love.
Okay, let's try this again. Take number 2 of the Ibasso Junior Klee, a baller single dynamic driver retailing for $80. It comes in 2 colors. I have the blue, and it also comes in stainless steel because the shells are stainless steel. So very nice little shells, medium size actually, I should say that. Fitment is great for me because the nozzles are a little bit long, which is perfect to get it deeper into your ears, and that also helps a lot with staging. On the bottom, there is a red and blue screen that goes over the left and right vent for the front of the driver, and on the rear of the driver there is another vent as well where the 2-pin goes in, and it's mostly flush right there. And I'm using a solid copper cable, and I'll talk about sound in a bit. And talking about cables, the cable that came with it is really, really nice as well. Modular 3.5, 4.4, branded Ibasso Junior. Nothing on the splitter. Chin slider is functional. And the terminations, left and right, red and blue, again, very nice little touch, are mostly flush, just enough to actually go into the IM. So well done, Ibasso, on that. Box has a little waifu if you're in for that, but she doesn't look as innocent as she does. She will actually hurt you, which is kind of sexy on its own. So, neutral sounding, exceptionally clean mids, better than average treble for a single dynamic driver. Get that right out of the way. That's how it sounds. Pretty wonderful. Later in this review, I'm going to also throw it against a fave of mine, which is the Dunu Falcon Ultra, which from then on, I'm just going to call it the FU. Okay? Inside of this is one of the plethora of new releases. I don't know if they had a sale on lithium magnesium cone dynamic drivers, but that's what's in this. Now, I'll reiterate in the fact that different cone materials do affect their sonic qualities, and I find metal dome drivers have a bit uniqueness in the fact that they are faster, speedier, and typically lighter on the bass, but do better in the top end. And that's exactly, I think, how this one comes across. Now, in the past, I've also reviewed a previous Ibasso IM called the 3T154 with a big 15.4 dynamic driver in this huge shell. This is a massive step up and improvement for less money. This dynamic driver in here I'm a big fan of. I will tell you, lithium magnesium for the win. And I think, and I've always said this, that I think metal shells adds something to the mix. It's like a very dense speaker cabinet in home audio where it does stop the resonances, but I think it adds in a little bit of weight to the bottom end. And I'll pull up a graph here and show you. And while the bass curve isn't monstrous, this thing has really nice bass. And it has a really nice curve into the lower bass and mid bass. But with this driver and this tuning, I find it is exceptionally clean mids, like zero bass bleed. And I don't mind some of that, actually, to add some warmth, but this is pretty terrific. I really do like it. I didn't actually know the price of this until after I wrote this review, and then I had to figure out how much it was to let you know. And I was kind of shocked, actually. I thought it was going to be a lot more expensive, so pretty happy that it's $80. Comes with a really basic little case. Actually, one thing I will say about the Ibasso, though this little graph on the back of the box is stretched out a bit, it gives you a pretty good indicator too. So when you get one of these and you see a factory graph from Ibasso, they're pretty bang on. No special surprises. I will say something about the ear tips too, and that's very, very rare for me. So this is the little carry pouch that comes with. You know, yeah, it's $80. I'm not being too hard on it. I did not use these particular ear tips, these gray ones that comes with it, on this. I did try it. I really like them. I ended up putting them on my Alpha Omega, my $3,000 set, because man, oh man, they're the perfect combination of firmer inside core and softer cone, mushroom, whatever you want to call it. And they have a really unique shape. I'm talking about an ear tip. I know this is kind of wackadoo, but they're they go in like that, which makes them super comfortable. So I like these ear tips. It's probably the first time I've actually mentioned that in a review. So, but on mine is the JVC FX10 spiral dots. I use these because I find these particular tips do a phenomenal job of cleaning up the very top end, and if there was any kind of hint of sibilance or harshness, I find these tips do a fantastic job of controlling that. So let's get into the meat and body of this review. And a couple of the things I want to say about this IM is it has a very powerful double magnet system with a huge Tesla of 1.6, means it's very powerful. In combination with a 22 ohms of resistance and 112 dB sensitivity, these are insanely easy to drive. Anybody who's owned a Dyna Quattro will say exactly the opposite of that. They need massive amounts of power to get going, where these were just lovely on even the... I had them on single-ended on the Hibby R1 little $80 DAP, and it was great, and it sounded great. So I switched over to a pure copper cable. Again, this is fine tuning stuff. It's just like your ear tips are the most important thing you can do, then sources, and then cables. And I found a pure copper cable was slightly better for my preferences than the SPC cable that came with stock, but no knocking that bad boy. Going over just again how they sound, I kind of went over that. They're very punchy, tight bass, right up my alley. Very clean mids. I gotta say that again. Very uncolored, neutral sounding mids. And the top end is really what stands out for me on this set. I don't find too many dynamic drivers that do this good a job at any price point, by the way, when it comes to the upper mids and treble. Really very, again, here's the graph, very well done, very extended. What a lovely, very lovely top end on this. So people who listen to strings, you're going to like this set a lot. Who's this for? Well, vocal clarity, for one, mids. Just enough bass to balance out the extended mids and treble. That's who's going to absolutely dig this set. I do. I like a variety of different tunings as well. This one is really working great for me. And then I thought, you know what? Let's do a A-B comparison to the $200 Dunu Falcon Ultra. So the FU is a little bit smaller shell compared to the two. I have a picture I'll throw up here. MMCX, so some people have a hate on for MMCX. I personally like it quite a lot. So if you have smaller ears, this might be a choice, but the big thing is the top end. And let me go over some of my notes that I did when I was A-Bing these two. So how does it sound? Well, I mean, again, take into account that this is same kind of modular cable. They both get a mod, so quite nice. But at $199 versus $80, the bass shelf. And now here's a comparison graph on paper. They are almost identical. But not only that, the bass texture, so volume-wise is virtually the same across the board, but in texture, the Klee, right, the Ibasso Junior pulls down lower. So that's one thing that the paper doesn't tell you. But the big difference up top is how much more information with a crisper treble that you get with the Klee. The timbre for strings and female vocals are better on the Klee. Now, I should also say and qualify that the fact that I'm using the blue nozzles, that was the best sounding for me on the Ibasso, or on the Dunu Falcon Ultra. So I'm comparing its best to me, and again, they have swappable nozzles that you could change the tuning on. So that's what the Falcon Ultra has over the Klee, really. But I like the tuning of the Klee better. And the way I would describe the two is the Klee is the better of the two IMs. Again, unless you like the smaller shell of the FU, or if you're really treble sensitive, then the darker sounding Falcon Ultra might be for you with the less energy up top. But the Klee makes it definitely a better all-rounder and the overall pick for me. Up from that, I think for my dynamic driver preferences, then I step up into the 300 plus nice HCK Himalaya. I like that one quite a bit. That's it for now on this one. Again, yeah, $80 Ibasso Junior. Good job. I think it'll really appeal to a lot of people who are looking for a dynamic driver that in the past hasn't done. There's not a lot of them out there that have done a really fabulous job of the upper end side. The bass is kind of easy to do. But doing the top end is the harder one, and I think it's the combination of the metal shell and the lithium magnesium driver for the win. So, good job, Ibasso.